Okay, so here's the question. Do you really need money to start a clothing brand? Or can you start it without money? Well, I have my beliefs and theories on that one. So let's discuss next here on Making the Brand. What's up, everybody? Rob Norman here from Planet Brooklyn Academy, and this is Making the Brand, the series where I give you a little knowledge and insight on how to start a clothing brand, and if you already have one, how to make it better. As always, please hit that like and subscribe button, and don't forget to hit that notification bell so you can stay up to date with everything I drop when it drops. And please don't forget, we are now doing the 100K Gain Challenge. We are trying to get this channel up to 100,000 subscribers. I know we are ways away from actually achieving that, but you know what? I like to aim high. Let's get this up there. I believe we can do that in probably a year. So tell a friend to tell a friend, and let's try to get this channel up to that number. So as I've said in the past, I want to be able to help you individually with your brands and help you guys develop it and give you some input and a little bit of my personal knowledge and help you guys out. This isn't a scam. I'm not going to do this where, suddenly you have to subscribe to, do subscriptions and stuff like that for other levels. Nah, I just actually like helping people genuinely, but I need to make it financially beneficial to myself to do this. So if we can get up to 100K, that means I should be making money off this channel that I can now just use my personal time to work with you, people like you out there trying to start your brands. So again, tell a friend to tell a friend, and let's try to get this channel up to 100K in a year. All right, that's the goal. But with that being said, let's jump into today's topic. So, can you start a clothing brand without money, or do you really need money to start it? So, in a perfect world, if we had money to start a clothing brand, yes, that would be great. But the reality is, most people don't have the money they need to really launch their brand. So, but can you actually start a brand without money? Well, yes, you can. I think the biggest issue that I see a lot of people feel, or what I feel that they do, is that they put all the emphasis on product. We got to get this product. We need to get money to get product out there so people will buy it. And you're putting your priorities in the wrong things. The value is not an actual product that you make. The value is actually in your brand. That is where all the value is. The product is something you can create, but the brand is what people really connect to. Think about why luxury brands are so big, why people want all name brand stuff. What's the difference between a Gucci bag and what a JanSport bag does? Both bags are bags. They both carry stuff. But why is it that a Louis Vuitton bag is looked at more, highly sought after as opposed to a JanSport bag? It's because of the value put on the name of the company. Louis Vuitton is seen as high class, expensive, and it has, this kind of, certain kind of energy put out there as opposed to a JanSport bag. It doesn't have the same energy, but it's all about brand development. And to create a brand, you don't need money. A brand is just a concept. You can actually create a brand just solely off of a concept. And I recommend, whether you have money or don't have money to start a brand, this is how you should be launching your companies. The problem I see with a lot of new upcoming companies is what they do is they wait till they get money, and then they put money into product, and then they get the product made, and then they go out there and try to market it. And the problem with that is that when I'm looking on my timeline and I'm seeing a company that I've never seen before just pop up on my timeline, and suddenly I'm seeing all this marketing from them, I'm like, who are they? I've never heard of them. What do? They're just suddenly pushing out product. Like, it's no different than any other product I've seen before. So I don't feel that the brand is special because I haven't had time to sit with the brand, get to know the brand. So if you take your time and develop your brand and market your brand, by the time you actually get to making product, people will be so enamored with your brand that buying product will be second nature to them. So whether you have money, you can go that route. But if you don't have money, it's easy. Just come up with your brand concept, but a good concept. And you try to build around that. You get people into what your brand is about. Little by little, let them see what you're about to release. Things like that. You can spend months, even spend a year just building on your brand concept, getting people into it. that by the time you have money to produce stuff, people are going to be all in on it. Case in point, Marvel. Look what Marvel does with their movies. We all love Marvel movies. We go to Marvel movies. But one of the things that they do, if you really pay attention and really think about it, they will tell us about a movie that's coming out 2 to 3 years from now. They'll have the title for it, and we'll get excited about that. They'll tell us who the villains are and who the heroes are. When in fact, they don't have the first script, the script hasn't been made, and you can read about it and they'll say that the first drafts aren't even done yet. They haven't even chosen who's going to be in the movies. There's speculations of who's going to be in the movies, but they haven't actually signed anybody to the movies yet. But we're all hyped around what we're hearing about this movie. So by the time the movie comes out, we've heard it for 2 years now. We're ready to go. And if you actually go back and look at the original things that were said about the movie, half of that stuff is totally different to when it actually came out. Everything was just hype being put out there into the universe, into the ethos. And people are just sucking it up and like, oh my God, I'm excited about this. The same concept that they're doing for that is the same thing you do with your brand. You put stuff out there. You tell people, this is what's coming from our brand. This is what we're doing. You give them visuals and stuff for them to really soak up and get them hyped about your brand. You're not going to spend 2-3 years doing this. You may spend 3 months, 6 months, maybe a year. But the idea is that people are getting hyped about this. So it buys you time to actually get money to start developing your brand. Even if you don't have money to do it, once you build it up long enough doing this, you can do pre-orders. People place pre-orders with you. That's the easiest way to develop a brand without having money, doing pre-orders. But people have to know who you are to actually do pre-orders with you. Because if I've never heard of you before and I say, oh, this is available for pre-order, I'm like, I don't know that brand. Why am I going to give them money? So you want to build some kind of hype. So spending 3 months just building up hype while you're trying to figure out everything in the background is important. And again, this goes for people who have money and people who don't have money. You can both do the same thing, but I recommend you spend time building out, not putting any money into it. Social media, all that is free. You can just build campaigns and do that and get it out there and then drop products. So yes, it is feasible and capable. You are capable of making a brand without having any money. Last thing I'll mention is that this skateboard company, if you're a skater, you'll know about them, Santa Cruz Skateboards. Santa Cruz Skateboards have been around for years. One of the things that they did back in the 80s, one of their pro skaters, Rob Roscoff, he had a skateboard. He had a series of skateboards called Target boards. And each board, what it did was, there was a Target board, and the first board you saw kind of like a claw or a nail coming through the board. The next one you saw like more of the hand coming out of the board, breaking up the board, grabbing onto his name. And the next thing you saw was the next board like coming through, grabbing, pulling his name, through the Target board. This was, whether it was done on purpose or accidentally, this was genius, because each board, when it came out, people wanted the next one because they wanted to know what was being revealed behind that Target board. What was the actual, creature behind it? What was grabbing his name and pulling it and stretching it? You wanted every board, and I'm not sure how often it was being released, if it was every year or every year and a half it was a new board coming out, but there was about 6 boards. And the idea of getting this made people want these decks just because of the creativeness of this. Now, if you adapt that concept to what you're doing for your fashion brand, it's actually pretty genius. You can create a whole concept around revealing something. Maybe it's paper and it's slowly being torn and you're slowly seeing some of the image of your marketing. Even better yet, if you have samples, okay, and you haven't gone into production yet, but you want to start getting it out there and you're gonna have your production soon, you can do a photo shoot where you're showing the image of people wearing your stuff. But after you do that, you may want to tape it up with paper, cover it with paper. And then what you'll do is you'll tear some of it away in one photo shoot so that you can see like a leg, an eye, or something like that. Then the next shoot that you'll do, you tear a little bit more of it away. So now maybe you're seeing like lips or a background. And little by little, you'll start tearing away the paper. And you'll have a saying under it or something like that. But each one you'll put out. Maybe every month you drop a different release showing a little bit more of what you're doing. People are going to be intrigued by this because they're going to go, what is this? What is this thing that's slowly being revealed? People are going to start talking because us as humans, we're naturally curious. and social media makes us very nosy. So if you have a concept like this, and you can almost make it a game where you say, can you guess what this image is? People are going to start guessing and wondering and passing it around and showing it. That's what you want. You want a viral piece where people are trying to figure out what the item is that's being revealed. You roll this out for 6 months, you do 6 pieces, roll it out over 6 months. Once it's shown, hopefully you'll have your product by then. Boom, everybody's into your product because they've been so hooked on this concept of something being revealed because we wanted to know what it was. And now they see it. And now they're like, oh, was I right? Were they right? Who was right? Who was wrong? It becomes a whole conversation. But now it's a product that people want to get because they spent 6 months trying to figure out what it was. So again, no money is spent. This is all off of a sample and you just doing some revealing of a product over 6 months. But it buys you time to actually get the money to do it. So again, you don't need money to start a brand. You can start it. Your brand, the value is in your actual brand. That's where the value is. So work on that. Push that. The product is secondary. But the brand, after the product is sold out or anything, everybody wants to know the brand. So again, work on developing your brands and you'll be fine with no money. All right. Hopefully that was helpful as always. And you know, any questions you have, please leave them in the comment section below. Also, if you still want to learn more about building a brand, make sure you get my book. I will leave the link below, Making the Brand, the book. The link is below. It's on Amazon. You can get that and you can read up more on how to build your brands. All right. Till next time, I'll catch you guys later. Peace.